Good morning, Flosstube. It is Helen D. It's Tuesday, March 4th. Emmy was just there eating plastic off the stairs, so she may be back. As you can tell, bathroom renovations are not quite done. It's been 8 weeks. Not that I'm counting. I think I'll be able to get back in my bathroom at the end of this week, so fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. How is everyone? Thank you for tuning in today and spending some time with me, whatever day it happens to be or whatever time of day it happens to be. A welcome to anyone who's recently subscribed. I'm glad that you found me and you stuck around. It has been a busy couple of weeks. Like I said, the bathroom renovation, it's kind of a day here, an afternoon there, and then nothing in between. And then the last 2 weeks have been like every day, including Sunday, one weekend. There were people here working away. So the shower, it was mostly a shower renovation, and the shower tiles they're in. So what we're waiting on this week is painting. And then I think we're able to get back in there with like the old shower curtain, and then we're having a door put on. So they've measured for the door and that's on order. That will be another couple weeks. But I think all of this goes. And then that's just a quick afternoon installation, fingers crossed. There's been a few issues. We've worked through them. We're in no rush to renovate anything else anytime soon. So there's that. That's really what's going on. Spring is definitely here in Maine, or at least in coastal Maine where I am. The snow at our house is completely gone. My neighbor still has some in her yard, but she has a plow truck, whereas we snow blow, so her plow piles are still there. And on the other side of the street where they don't get the morning sun, I've noticed their piles are still there, but we're getting very close, very, very close, which means I need to make sure my allergy medicines are good. I bought some for Nashville, so I should have a start to the season for allergy meds. The other big thing that happened the weekend before last, and I'm sure some of you have already seen, they were posted on social media and Instagram, and then Missy and Kathy of Two Needles Pulling Thread have already done a video. Missy put on a surprise retreat weekend for Kathy to celebrate the end of her cancer fight. She had started planning this in the fall, late fall, trying to think of something special to do for Kathy. And like she said, there's nothing she'd rather do than spend a day stitching with her friends. And then they decided, her and her husband and Kathy's husband, to make it's at a hotel, so if people want to stay, there were people from out of state, and even us locals. I'm only a half an hour away from where it was, but my sister and I got a room. Most of us got a room so that we could stayed up late Saturday night, got up for breakfast and then stitched. I think Donna and I left around 1 o'clock, 1:30. So that was it was about 22 people, and it was perfect. It was perfect. The whole weekend was perfect. Missy spoiled us. Kathy was surprised. Everyone kept the surprise. Like I said, I think there were around 22 of us. A couple people just came for the day. I came for the morning on Saturday, then had to leave, then came back. So it was just nice and casual. It was super casual, and it was just great. So one of the things that we had there, like I said, Missy spoiled everyone, and she had like raffle prizes that have been donated from different people, like door prize kind of things. And she put together, when we got in, there was this it was flamingo themed, and there was a little flamingo bag at everyone's seat with floss and those little scissors, and there's a tape measure in here. And the flosses for this, Missy had asked me if I would design something for Kathy. And originally I think we were thinking like one of my little word charts, but then she said it was going to be flamingo themed. So I played around and I came up with this. My hand's gonna be right on it. So I came up with this, which is the stand up. This one is stitched on 25 count white Lugana, just a Zweigart white Lugana. And then because I knew that some people would not, I love a stand up, but some people would not love a stand up, I stitched it up again on 32 count, just to show, you know, that it can be a lot smaller, the size difference. And I left the flowers off this one again, just to make it just a little pillow versus the big stand up. So I put together a little chart. And then when I got there a little early on Saturday, we went around and put one of these with each of the goodie bags, and I had kitted it up with a piece of the fabric I used for the back, which I just got at Joann's. It's just a current Joann fabric, and I had made a set of pins, which in mine, I put right there, just as a little thank you. And I wanted Missy to have a surprise too. So, so that's what I did. This was the original, and there was 2 mistakes in it already. So, so then after much encouragement, and it feels weird doing it, but after much encouragement, I've released that chart for sale. So that will be an exclusive to Carla at Cobweb Corner. Her site is all set up to do PDFs. She does PDFs for other designers. So it is available exclusively at Cobweb Corner as a PDF. She's also doing printed charts that she is printing, and she does that for other designers too. She has like a higher quality paper and she prints them out. So the chart comes with, I buried it. I included the template, which we found out through multiple printings. If you print it through Firefox, which is what I use, this line prints really, really thin. It's the right size, but it's just really thin. But if you print it on like any of the others, I don't even know what they are, Chrome, Explorer, whatever the cool kids use these days, that's not Firefox, it prints nice and thick. So this template is the size that you use to finish on 25 count. So a bunch of my friends started it this weekend, and there was questions. When I'm stitching a stand-up, if I have a template, this line, it's kind of like the strawberry. When you draw the line on a strawberry, that's the line that you sew. So this line is what you will actually sew, the finished size. So when you're trying to figure out how big your fabric is, you need this to fit, plus like, if you're cutting it close like I am, you know, an inch, and you'd be fine as long as there was that much. I bought a fat 16th. It's the kind on 1, 2, 3 stitch that's like 9 by 13. So I bought a fat 16th, and then I folded it in half, and that's what I used. So it ended up being, you know, 9 by 6.5, and that's fine. This piece is the circle for the bottom, and that gets filled with your regular fabric. So, but that's how I figure out for a stand-up. I use this, and then I do a center start on my fabric and on my chart, and that way I'll know that everything tucks in there. So, a couple other things. Like I said, there were 2 mistakes. One of them we noticed before I sent it to Carla is that I had on the back, when I listed the floss colors, I had one of them listed as 3932. There are no 39s, so that at least was an easy catch. And then when the girls started stitching, they had all the flosses that I had sent Missy in just a list, and one of them was like, why is there 913 in my bag, but there's no 913 on the chart? On the original chart, it was 367, which is a darker green. And then when I stitched it up, I changed it. So Carla now has the right one. She sent out an email to anyone that had already purchased it. So this is the 913. It's just it's a whole different shade of green. Like, it's brighter and lighter. So that's the one I used. If you had already bought a PDF, she sent an email, you can go back into that original link and print it out again, and it should update automatic, because she updated the link. So I apologize if you stitched it up with the wrong one, but it's like a smattering of stitches, so it's not that much. So this is all DMC. I actually used a Gentle Art for this one, and you couldn't see the variegation at all, so this was the DMC substitution, so that I just went all DMC on the chart. So that is out there. I've seen some people stitch it up. Maine Moose Mom stitched it up lickety split, and it's very surreal. So it's a strange feeling. So that's that. Regular stitching. I have a big finish, and if you watched last time, you can guess what it is. I finished On the Beach by Stitch Rovia. This is the one that last time I showed you, I wanted to get it done. This has been on the go since February of 2020. It needed to be done. So I finished that up, and by cutting off the top 2 sunbathers, I said it would fit in an 8x10 frame, which it does. So there it is. I had the frame already, so I was able to just get it laced right up. And it's like the perfect fit in this frame. This is, like I said, an 8x10. I stitched mine on a 16 count, picture this plus. So on a 16 count, it fit in here. Now, that was a picture this plus 16, which, you know, they shrink a little on the hand-dyeds. So the frame is from Rusty Roof, and it actually still had the tag on it. It's an Emma, 8x10 Emma, M-E, Emma. And the color is Robin Egg. And mine was part of, sometimes on their website, they have like little packs of 4 frames that are kind of for sale that they've put together from a discontinued molding or might not be as perfect as they want them to be. So like this one has some extra space and stuff, which might, on one you bought full price, it might be a little tighter, but it was perfect. Perfect for me. Emmy's in there causing trouble. Then I also, and I finally remembered to bring it down, I finished Candy Claws from Satsuma Street. So this is Candy Claws. These Satsuma Streets are stitched on 14 count perforated paper, but I wanted to do mine on fabric, which you totally can. It's 14 count fabric, it's no different. And I chose to leave off some of these sequins. I did the beads, and I did, these are a red sequin for the berries. So I left those on. So there he is. So this is on a scrap fabric from Mystic Fabrics, and it was one of her grab bags, and I asked her if she knew the color, and she said that it was a test dye, like a solo dye, so it's not available, because if it was, I was going to snap some more up. So he is all done, and I'm thinking of making him a little stand-up. He's maybe, well, this says on the back, it was 3 by 4 1/4, and I used a 14 count, so he should be right around 3 by 4. So he'll be just a little cute stand-up. And actually, I'm glad I pulled this out, because when we move on to whips, I started another one. And I didn't have a picture because all I have is the PDF, but it's right here in the back. I started this one, which is Partridge and Pear. So she has them as a full kit, which comes with all the stuff, or you can get them most of the time as just a PDF. So this one, I clearly was in mid-stitch. This has been my car/tennis project. And you're gonna be like, we were at the retreat and I sat next to Emma of B&E Stitchery, and she was like, where did you start that? Like, why are you way over here? So what I did is I had this piece, another from a grab bag, and I thought I can get 2 on here if I stitch it on the side. So I folded this in half and then did a center start on the half. So I'm starting over here, and then before I cut them apart, I will stitch another one over here so that they'll still fit in my Q-snap. I'll have to wait on the beading and stuff for that one. This is on a 16 count, so it'll be a little smaller. So that's what I've been working on the go. The 14 count was easier at tennis. The 16 is a bit more of a challenge. The lighting up there leaves lots to be desired. So that's my travel project. I've also been working on Blooming Tiny Town from Heart and Hand. And I'm almost done. I'm down to this bird. So I have all of it rolled up. So I have the bird, this side. I have the bird and this yellow house. So this week, I'll finish this up this week. I showed this fabric last week, and the paper, the plastic it was in is no longer in this bag. So this was something that someone had sent me. But the white shows up good enough, so I went with it. I used mostly the called for colors, though I swapped out a couple that I didn't have. And then I had a question of how do I store my fancy floss in these bags. So I gotta find one that has it on it. So I use the floss bags. I take an index card and I trim it up a little bit. I take like a 1/4 inch off the side and one line, which is probably a 1/4 inch off the card itself. So then I write what brand it is. So Classic Colorworks, I just do CC, what color it is, and I put my skein in there. So that then I sort mine by company alphabetically. So the reason I like the index card is it gives it a little bit of stability when it's in its box. And then when I'm stitching with some and I have like a leftover bit, I put the bit in the back. So that when I'm stitching, I just check the back. If there's something there, you know, I grab that first. If there's nothing there, then I know it's a new one and I have to pull off a new length of thread. So that's what I do. And then I have the binder rings that I put them on. I'm not a huge flush drop user because to me things get all tangled. The cat gets in them, like it's just not for me. It's not working for me. The other thing I pulled out that I hadn't worked on in forever was Live on Large from Plum Street Sampler. I did a little outlining so that I could take this to the retreat. There they come. And just do some filling. So, Live on Little. I am way down here. That's it. That's where I am. That's where the next 5 years will take me. So, I outlined and then I filled in, I think all of that blue, the dark blue. And I filled in the whale. He wasn't quite done. Before I outlined, I put in just a length of floss up here. So I thought, this is never gonna get done if I don't work on it. So I'm trying to do, you know, with coffee in the morning, if I have time to stitch, which is usually on the weekend, a couple lengths of the blue. This fabric is written down. I had to make working copies because it's like 9 pages. 16 count color and cotton Over the Moon. And I was able to fit it on a fat quarter with a 2-inch margin. I would have liked a little wider than that because that one will get framed. But that's what I had. So I worked on that one. That's gonna stay out. And then the other one I pulled out that needs some major love if it's going to get done by this summer, and clearly didn't get much this weekend, is another Satsuma Verano. I started this last year and I had this line Not even. I have this line, I had like a T right there, just of the border, which is basically what I still have. So I went in and started the fruit bowl. 14 count, picture this plus Arial on this one. So that one I thought if it's gonna have any remote chance of getting done, I need to get it out and work on it. So like I said, I'm just way down here. I know that it's barely spring, but I kind of feel like if I don't get going on some of my summer things, they're not gonna get done this year, and I'd like them done this year. So I have this one from Cherry Hill Stitchery, and I have another summer one. Oh, Autumn Lane, the 4th of July words one. That's not the name. All American? Might be All American. That one is actually the closest to a finish, so I need to work on that. That's it. I have one little gift and one little purchase, and then we will have some giveaways. So my gift, Gwen had won a giveaway, and she sent me some English paper piecing, like the templates and things. They're in there. She remembered that I had shown beginning of this year, late last year, Hands On Design had a flamingo piece in one of the quilting magazines, and it's done on these little hexagons. So she said she stitched it, or is in the process. She actually sent me a picture. She's in the process. So she's like, these have been really helpful. So she had extras, so she sent those on her way. So I don't know if I'm gonna get that done before summer too. And I was thinking, that might be cute not to do. She has you sew the little hexagons together and make a little pillow. I'm wondering if they would work on my tree, right? If I put a fabric colored little hexagon on the back and then some trim and a hanger, that might work there. So the other two things that I purchased was, and they're in plastic, I got 2 pieces of fabric from Mystic Fabrics. I got a piece of Olympia. These are both 28 count Lugana. Ooh, that's gonna show up nice today. That's Olympia, which is a nice multicolored solid. Neutral, not a solid. And then Misty has, not every month, but she's rotating them through. She's doing a pre-order. She has a Fabric of the Month club that is neutrals. She's doing a color of the month that is colors, and in their pre-order. So you have until a certain time, I believe this one is April 10th, so it is still available, that you can go in, choose your fabric, do a pre-order, and then she's dyeing them. She's kind of dyeing them as she goes when she has enough, but then after the cutoff, she will dye all of what she has. So this month's was called Be More Pacific, and it's a gorgeous blue. So I ordered a piece of that too. Again, in the Lugana, 28 count. So that is still available, I believe, through April 10th on Mystic Fabrics. I will link them. I'll link them below, and I'll link right to the page for this. And then she did just restock. She has a section in her menu called Ready to Ship. And they're all in there by color and count. And when she has extra pieces, like if she's dyeing, you know, she has a yard of fabric and she's dyeing 4 fat quarters that got sold, the 4th one, she'll bag up and have as a ready to ship so that they're available anytime. All right. I think that's it. We will move on to the giveaways. So last video, I'm just checking. I think that's it. Last video I had 3 giveaways. The first 2 were donated by Carla at Cobweb Corner, and I always link Carla's website below and her Flosstube channel if you go give a like and subscribe there. So giveaway winners, I'll announce your name here, and then my email is in the description box. So get back to me, let me know what you won, and I will get that out to you. And I'm gonna have to go to the post office this time because these are big charts. So the first one was Junebug, which I can't. She's so pretty. Pam of Stitching in the Land of Good Enough showed hers in her last video, and she's so close. She's so close. So this one is Teresa, I believe it's Chuckle, C-H-U-C-L-E, Chuckle? Let me know how you pronounce your name. I've always had a name that's hard to pronounce, my maiden name, so I get it. So Teresa won this one. Secret Garden is Cynthia Arsenault. And then the third one was the final copy of Honey Fair, which was donated by Robin at October House. And this one is going to Vicky in Kansas. Honey Fair. We're still on to start the Honey Fair stitch along on May 1st. Like I said, this chart was a market release, so it's widely available. Carla said she actually just got a big old shipment of them in. So if you're having a hard time finding it because people are out, I know she has some in. I pulled my flosses. I actually have the called for flosses, so I'm going to use the called for this time, and then I just need to figure out what size and what color fabric I'm going to use. So this week, this video, I have another 3 giveaways. The first 2 are from Carla at Cobweb Corner. Giveaway rules are the standard. Please don't say giveaway or win. I'd appreciate it if you're a subscriber and go subscribe to Carla, and don't say the word giveaway or win. Number 1, just use the numerical number, tag it on the end of your comment, or just leave the number. Spring Littles from Waxing Moon. There's an entire series of these for like all the seasons, plus a bunch of the holidays. And I know that Carla has them all in stock, and they're super cute, and they're little. They are 46 by 46. So on 14 count, that comes out to 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. So they're very small. They do have a large floss list. So keep that in mind. Second is Honeybee from, oh, that's number 1. Use the comment number 1. This is number 2. Honeybee, use the number 2. And then I had one more of the ones that was all kitted up. So this will be number 3, and I'll print you the chart with the proper flosses on it, but it will have that piece of fabric and the set of pins. So number 3. That is all. I should be back in a couple of weeks, hopefully with brown floors, and not much else is going on until then that I can think of. You never know. My son gets his braces off this week. That's exciting. I'm excited. We had to make a lot of trips over there. I laughed when I had braces, you know, back in the day when you had the full band around your tooth that they put on with the little hammer, and then on just the front teeth they did like the sticky on brackets, and every time you would lose or break a full band or a bracket, they would put on a full band. I had full bands on all but like 2 teeth. Now they're all those sticky on brackets. There's no bands, but we've had issues. A couple have popped off. The elastic, like to tighten the gaps, they attach, it's a full chain they call it, and they attach it to all of them. I don't know how many of those we've snapped, right? Because they're pulled so tight that, yeah, so he snapped one Friday night after they closed. They don't open again until this morning. So I called this morning. I said, he's coming in on Thursday to get them off. You need me to come get that elastic fixed? She said, well, if you notice a gap. It's way back here. I can't notice it. So I'm going to have to look closely because I don't want any delays. I want those things off. And I can only imagine how much he wants them off. So that's all. I will talk to you guys later. Have a good couple of weeks. Bye.